T-Crow.
Croc.
Pokemon Red for the Game Boy Color.
Webkin. That was the first video game I've ever played. Webkin.
Hey, yo, what it do? It's your boy Q. We're back here at the UPMC Events Center. We're moving forward here with our fall Brawl competitions as we're getting to move forward into Valorant. It's going to be some best of one action. Should be a lot of fun, but before we get down to it, how about we go ahead and introduce our two teams? So we're going to go ahead and start on our right side of our screen over here, right side of our stage over here, as it is going to be the Pine Grove Cardinals, led by Coach Big T. We got Slumpy, Kavista, Killed in Vain, the Kaboom Stick, and we've got Kevolution. Go ahead and give it up for our Pine Grove Cardinals. And today they will be squaring off against the Titans from CB South, led by Wrong Long, Wagyu, Lana Del Slay, Artie, and Brian. Go ahead and give it up for our CB South Titans. Like I mentioned, it's best of one action. We're off to Lotus here, and it should be a banger. We're gonna go ahead and send it on over to two of the best in the business. Let's go ahead and send it off to D-Lo and Pyro J.
All right, hey everybody, we are back up on the stage. Welcome into our second match of the day here for the Land of Steel at the Robert Morris University UPMC Events Center. We're getting loud, we're getting excited for what is going to be a thrilling Fall Brawl Championship matchup of CB South and Pine Grove. I'm Pyro J, I'm joined here by D-Lo. D-Lo, how's it going? Are we ready?
Oh, yes, we are so ready. It feels good to be back on a stage and getting to see some in-person esports here. Click the heads to make them dead. A big patch we're off the heels of too, so hopefully both our friends on Pine Grove and CB South can bring the heat.
They're trying to bring the heat, Pine Grove in particular, a full senior squad. So this is going to be their year to really make it count. I think that's the energy that they've got going into this matchup. Not just making it count, D-Lo, but apparently, obviously, a vibes team. You were talking to the team beforehand. They said, yeah, we're just going to keep it real. This is what we do.
Yeah, and I'm getting a word in right now from their principal that if they do not win, they will be held back one more semester. So a lot on the line here now. But Pine Grove is definitely a team that gets a bit silly with it. They've got their own rhythm and rhyme to it, and I always appreciate the fact that a team, even when they want to maybe play from ahead, even when they are down, they're not ever out. And on the side of CB South, a team that's got some real pedigree behind their name. In fact, they formally stepped up to Pine Grove and in flamboyant fashion took them down 13-0.
Yeah, 13-0 was that scoreline of CB South and Pine Grove. But what is going to be the score this time around? We've got Lotus for map number 1 of the Fall Brawl Championships. We flipped the coin. Pine Grove will be on attack here. CB South over on defense as we'll get things started momentarily here. That 13-0 is important that CB South had, but that was with all their starters. 2 subs are on the field here, on the arena today. Bayan and Wagyu are the 2 subs standing in for their starters, so a little bit of pressure on them to perform today.
Yeah, on both sides of the field, there's a bit of maybe shaky hands you're going to see on the side here as well. In Pine Grove, you have Boomstick, who is a bit new to the big stage, so there is a bit of pressure riding on both, but I think you're really putting your finger on the point we all need to look at. Do the subs have the same chemistry that the starters had before? There are very large shoes to fill, size 14s. Are your feet going to be able to slip in nice and snug, or are you going to be walking around like a clown?
Personally, I'd be walking around like a clown. I cannot fill size 14 shoes.
Nor I.
No,
nor
okay,
I.
all right. Well, good luck to our high school players then. Hopefully they can. Listen, there's some names that I recognize. You know, we call out the subs, but names that could prove to be MVP caliber players. When there was maybe some sheepishness over on the CB South side, the Bucks maybe thinking, okay, we don't have our starters. Artie, to me, was a player who exuded that confidence. That is a senior on that side. That is not just a senior bringing that veteranship. That is someone who is their IGL, their in-game leader. So he's going to be calling the shots. If there's an adjustment that needs to be made mid-round, he's going to make it count. And he's going to make sure that the team stays together the whole way through.
It's always interesting when the teammate with the most seniority is also the team with the most senior leadership role. They're going to be the ones in charge of corralling them in the event that they are behind, saying, come on guys, buck up, we still got more rounds to go. But that being said, not quite as many as you might have expected. Once again, just as Q mentioned, it is a best of one map. That means if you let the enemy team get off to a high momentum start, you can find that your bracket run ends far before you even thought it started.
That's right. Well, before this finals does get started, a reminder to everyone here in the arena, Rocket League 1v1s are getting started. Go up to the front desk if you want to compete there. But if you want to compete here on the big stage, you had to make it through all the way to the Fall Brawl. We got round one of CB South and Pine Grove. It's on.
Woot woot. Pistols round here to start, and the competitions are awfully interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing the utility from Pine Grove here. I see a Clove, I see a Gecko, I see quite a lot of potential. That Rise is going to be a bit interesting. She took quite some big nerfs there in the last patch, but hopefully she can make it work.
We'll see. Certainly, as the utility already comes through, but Wagyu has other things in mind. A little ghost spray there through the smoke. Already credited with a kill. Wagyu the same. It's Swarm season against Pine Grove. CB South making quick work of that one.
Okay, all right, Wagyu, calm down. I know that you're a high-quality cut of meat, but you didn't need to cut them apart so quickly. Already kill leader. That flank was devastating. Pine Grove were not looking at the bushes where all of the Bucks were lurking.
That's fantastic effort there. I feel like the smoke really assisted Wagyu there. Able to hit the door and not immediately get wiped out. For Pine Grove, on these attacks, I know it's a pistol round, but you still have to watch your back. You still got to get Vise to set up that wall on the trip for those flanks.
Yeah, you're now looking for that, but Pine Grove, once again, they're Vibes team. They're okay with one round going the other way, and of course, with the pistols round being lost so devastatingly, you're not necessarily expecting to win this one either. You're trying to save up, Eco in, Evolution going to be able to take down two. Wagyu gets gobbled up, and Slumpy takes down Artie.
Flash through, everybody moved off the position. Ryan able to keep their role there, getting a kill with the pistol, but kills being traded as Pine Grove still hold numbers and a stinger in hand. They have an avenue out over to the side. Lauderdale Slay sniping Slumpy with that Spectre, keeping the agents at 2.
Does take, though, quite a bit of damage during the process. Pine Grove can try to force the issue. Here comes the teleport from the Omen, but it's an Omen of doom for anyone from the Bucks South as they get shot down. Pine Grove answer back with their own round victory.
It's rare that a team loses the first round, but then wins the next. Pine Grove, we talked about the Vibes team with confidence. Normally, you would not buy into round number 2 unless you were ready to be a little cocky. And that's what we see out of Pine Grove, saying, you can knock us down, but we're getting right back up.
You know, Mace? Oh dear God, Kaboom stick. Put that away. That's the wrong kind of stick. You want the one that shoots him at long range. There you go. Now we're back in it. But I do agree. The fact that Pine Grove have that, I think it's a big amount of wind in your sails. They can feel pretty solid about having that round down, despite by no means having the right to win it so decisively. Walled up from Artie and sprints out. Central Bucks biding their time, playing a bit more conservatively.
Little bit of time taken on this one, but a player lurking behind the box. Wagyu found out the secret position now being given away, but they do get a round out. That was the smoke as well as the paranoia to give them a chance to flank back over to that A site. Starting to see hesitation from Pine Grove. They want to see, they got the first pick, the first blood, but can they find more? Bayern looking extra treacherous with that Marshall in hand.
I feel like when we're following Wagyu, just gotta play that music. Da-dun, 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 da-dun. But they don't know whether they want to actually force the issue, and I don't blame them. All 5 members of Pine Grove stacked together like a swarm of bees.
And they may have faked the rotate, cut noise, and then attack is the avenue. They're already through the door. That headshot through the skull of Kaboomstick.
Nice.
No worries. They picked up the bomb, but Wagyu still forming some pressure. Bomb being planted, but maneuver still needing to be made.
Spike
Prowler
planted.
gets around, but immediately shot down. Lana Del Slay has that pistol out after Wagyu, but finds some difficulty getting an extra kill. Pine Grove hold it together.
Wagyu turns the corner looking at the wrong target. Crosshairs just aimed a bit too high. Slumpy uses the prone, gets crouched down nice and low, and drops Slumpy down, or rather, drops Wagyu down even lower, 6 feet under, in fact. Overall, they're doing a good job adjusting. Instantly, I'm seeing Pine Grove. They recognize the fact that Wagyu likes to try to split off from the main force of the offense, and they're going to instantly stamp out any ember of resistance you try to put up.
And how about the UPMC Event Center here at Robert Morris University? We've got a massive arena, PCs as far as the eye can see. The players competing in open tournaments as well as the big stage here to feature our Fall Brawl Championships. And, well, we're putting the Brawl in Fall Brawl. I think we're putting the fall into it as well as Killed in Vain hits the floor.
Yep. Players dropping like leaves in the moment here this nice October day. Already not going to drop quite just yet. The wall obscures the vision and grants them a bit of reprieve to get back to safety. But now the question is, do they regroup? You see a split rotation here from the Bucks, trying to regroup, trying to reconvene as the Lions are on the hunt.
And I have questions here about Artie being the IGL, but also being the duelist. That's two very difficult roles to hold hand in hand. Normally you want to be the sentinel, the controller, the one hanging in the back, throwing out the smokes. But Artie has a lot to do here, especially defending, trying to hold the front lines on that C site. It's certainly been held as Slumpy holds the position for a bit, but meanwhile, Pine Grove, the rest of the team, already getting through the door and targeting the A site.
It's a breakneck pace there for the Bucks, and I think the Reina maybe has realized that she has been duped. Artie takes down Kevolution, trying to send them back to the Stone Age. A few more bullets in the head, but Slumpy doesn't enter back on a Wagyu. Nonetheless, Kavista will fall as well.
It already got to the site in the blink of an eye. That's what Neon offers, that mobility. Now can the mobile tactics be used for a couple kills here? Dizzy is out, shot down, flash through the wall. The two black boys, they can't see a dang thing. Bayern puts them onto the floor.
What a brilliant flash there. They had no idea where they were looking at until they saw nothing but black. That was just a fantastic use of utility and also great use of patience. They recognized their moment to strike, and it was beautifully executed.
Glad we're getting a look at the stage here because the players are getting up and they're getting loud. You make the trek out here to Western PA to perform on the big stage. You're gonna get ready to get up to get loud. Bring that energy here.
And the fact that it's coming from the Central Bucks, the team that we mentioned before, is a bit more hesitant, a bit more cold when it comes to those vibes rising up instantly. And the fact that they're silencing Pine Grove quickly, that could very quickly turn sour. Pine Grove got to make sure they stick to what they know, which is keeping that energy up.
And I'll tell you what, CB South not showing any hesitation. Look at the flank already from Artie on that C side. He's communicating all of that information to the team saying, hey, no one's in spawn, no one's at C, no one's at B, they're all at A.
Now the question is, can they actually execute on finding some value once they find that rotation in? No member of Pine Grove watching their back. You can hear the Jaws theme playing. Slumpy is also holding them down for quite some time. There's an attempt at Pine Grove to regroup and retreat. Artie wisely going to bide their time and get back with the Omen.
That's important. Play your life there if you are Artie. They almost got caught between a rock and a hard place. They had the Rain of Lear as well as the Shear from Vise, getting them stuck in that position. But Artie with 30 HP just got out, and Slumpy, you've got the right idea. Not able to hit the shot quite yet. But did you see that shotgun hiding out in tree? That may be a sore shot for Pine Grove to try to get through.
Brian knows, but Slumpy knows that Brian knows that Slumpy knows. Here comes the breach. Does not quite find the daze or the concuss. A bit unfortunate. And now you can just see Pine Grove so hesitant. They don't know where they want to go, so they're just going to bust right through the door. Kool-Aid Man. But the question is, do we have the juice afterwards? What a great paranoid. Wrong long. Look at that. The shot. They can't see nothing either. Slumpy takes him out.
Hard to shoot when you can't see. Killed in Vain, hitting the resurrection on themselves. Going to be able to hopefully get that spike down for the team, but they're running out of time. That's in the swarm there. Bayern with the kill. Lando play follows, but they're put down to the ground again.
Oh my
kills made.
God.
The clutch is through, and CB South take over.
That was intense. All right, I'm looking now to buy in. We're all looking to buy in. These flashes from the breach have been so consistently insane. That is really scary to play around, because if you're going to hesitate, that's going to go right through the wall. I don't have to rely on that flash actually reaching in front of you. It just got to be you're adjacent to any amount of map geography. So if you can keep them pinned down, you can flush them out like rats in a trap.
It's extremely well done, and the time pressure you can see is a huge thing as well, right? Trying to get that spike down when you still have so many defenders alive, you've got to dodge the bullets while planting the spike, and near impossible task to complete.
Does not seem to be an enviable position, but Central Buck South are doing a pretty good job nonetheless. 3-2 so far in their favor. And we asked that question at the very beginning. How do the subs do? Do they rise up to the occasion? Do they meet the pressure? I think it's already been answered. They absolutely do.
So far, so good, but this game lasts more than 5 rounds. Many more to go in this half. Barely halfway underway. Wrong long. Taking their time here, but this is scary. This is terrifying. Slumpy, no! Slumpy can't get the knife, and they pay dearly for it.
That's just Pine Grove getting a bit too silly with it. Now the goose gets put down, and Artie's going to stuff to this like a turkey. Takes down Bane as well. It's a 3-piece. It's a 4. A quad kill from Central Buck South in a flawless round.
We go from one of the most diabolical kills in a knife to Pine Grove not even uttering a single cry, a single shot, a single kill in that round. And already coming alive with that 4K. What more could you ask for CB South?
Man, Pine Grove there just letting that ego get a bit of the better of them. Hubris, pride cometh, Pyro, before the fall. And this bird is losing its wings. They're being clipped. They need to find some pressure quick, because if CBS are able to string more rounds together, it's going to be trouble. Wrong long sends the shots out, puts the paranoia down, and makes a hasty retreat.
Ooh, and they've stopped the push, but Artie, how are you getting this many kills through the door? That's just unfair. Okay.
Kevolution quickly shuts us up there, and also silences Artie.
Wow, was that through the door? Sure.
Impressive.
I hope not, because that would just be nearly impossible. But what a kill. I guess that's what it takes to remove the X factor of Artie.
I mean, sadly, you lost 3 members in trade. You might say it's worth it for now, but Central Buck South still got shooters on their side. Canista has been a bit quiet so far on the Rays. You want to be the noise maker instead. Wrong long sent shots around the corner, but unfortunately, crosshair placement just was not quite on point. Wagyu gets some shots sent to the Vise. Central Buck South still with advantage.
That was unique from Kevolution, shooting while jumping, but hey, they live, and the 2 Kevs will carry on for Pine Grove. In a 2v2, their health not looking so good. Kevista, no problem. Kevolution on about 20 HP.
And 30 seconds as well. Time is not on your side, my friend. You gotta try to do something about it. Kevolution finds the plan, but the breach finds out exactly where you're standing. We know just how dangerous Bayern can be with these abilities. You best watch out. Wagner on the corner as well. Kevolution's already dead.
This is the problem, is 2 initiators on the retake. They're gonna cause issues, but so will this ultimate. The bazooka is out, but both kills is too tall a task. Wagyu survives.
That was amazing spacing there from CBS, recognizing the fact that that was an absolute possibility that we pull off the ultimate, pull out the showstopper. But the show must go on, and CBS are looking for an encore performance.
You don't need
Wonderful work there. On the retake, again, Fade and Breach have this task to stay alive in those retake moments. Those are the agents you need to collapse back on site and take over that round. And also, you know, make sure they get the win after Artie plays so well.
Exactly.
Another 3 kills to start the round, and they still nearly lost.
Artie is the hammer and the breach is the broom. You sweep up what's left of the rest. But the fact that Artie is consistently able to trade out for 1 or 3 or 2 never goes down without finding some value for CBS, even if it's just information. That's the difference. Wrong long, unfortunately, does not find too much utility. Instead, they find the grave.
Yeah, I don't hate that from CB South. They've been trying to get this first blood. They've been wanting to take space early on in these rounds. And sometimes that's the punishment. Sometimes you're going to give up an agent to start. They may be evening the odds here, though. Already able to respond, but immediately traded. Wow, Nightfall trying to push back the entire team. Wagyu isn't done. 2 to push them back.
They're just walking in like it's a Jackie Chan action movie. You cannot go in one at a time like that, or Wagyu will piece you up. 2v3, and again, you're still alive. It doesn't matter because you're all dead. Wagyu finds the quad.
Super Sub is here for CB South. Wagyu puts them down like dominoes. I don't know what game we're playing, dominoes, checkers, but these guys playing chess, they're one step ahead at every moment.
They're playing 4D chess right now. I don't even know what game they're playing. Central Buck South, they're playing the game of life, and it is looking awfully good if you are a fan of CBS so far. And it's crazy because we were talking about how Pine Grove, man, that's the vibe tribe. They're the ones who should be riding high with their spirits. They should be soaring. They have the wings, but it's the Knights weighed down by their armor, but they're looking light as a feather.
And again, taking over Rubble here. Artie is demanding control of the stage here. First it was C side, now it's A side, and Pine Grove pushed back at the start of every round.
And you can tell Pine Grove are just starting to feel demoralized just by the way they're playing. Look how hesitant they are. I don't blame them one bit. Got the paranoia out there from the Omen. At least they're aware of the angle they're coming from on the B side, but I love the spread here from CBS. They have so much faith in their individual abilities. A lot of those slay. Sends out the net, doesn't get the capture, but Pine Grove are playing enough Left Dead 2 to know what to do about that.
Don't really like the timing of that ultimate.
Yeah.
You have to get the kill and bring that body back, and it's going to be very unlikely that there's only 1 or 2 players there on the C side. Hey, might as well do it with the gunfire, with the weapon, but they don't have the spike. No. That's the big issue. Through the door, already gets another kill. They're racking up, stacking up the kills from that angle. Exactly, but Kaboom Stick returns fire. Another 2v3 this situation is for Pine Grove.
In fact, the Kaboom Stick, the new player, the Greenie, is able to take down the big media. CBS has got to feel good. They have a spike as well, so some momentum, but Bayern is still alive, and we talked about how important they are to the comp. Does not matter, though, if you're dead. Pine Grove stand with a 3-1 advantage.
And remember, Lana Del Soleil used that ultimate already. They nearly fell there on B side on the altercation, but they'll have to rotate entirely over to the A side. Utility still stuck on C. They have nothing but a gun to get them through.
Well, gun's definitely a good start, but you also got to make sure you get the defusal kit out. Pine Grove do stand to be able to take this round pretty handily and get some much needed relief from the all-out assault of CBS. That being said, does seem like we're going to try to go for an attempt at the retake. Demolition stands the Vanguard and instantly puts down Lana Del Soleil before they could even start to sing.
Okay, Cavolution, I don't know that you had to do him like that. 1 bullet is all it takes with the Guardian, and made short work of it as well. Clearly, Pine Grove are showing that they've got the precision as well. They'll pick up that tag and move on to the next round.
That was a very important round. I think you need, of course, it's never good to lose a round, but it's never good, especially not good, to lose rounds in conjunction, to streak them together. When you see the enemy start to do that, they're building momentum, they're building a streak, they're building foundations to just dominate. So Pine Grove, at a very critical moment, stopped that flow. They put a speed bump in the Central Buck South, but now I need to see them do the exact same thing. I need to see them get this 4th round in their side, and then anything feels a lot more possible. Putting down Artie earlier there was the really big facilitator. We got to get that going again.
Oh, hold on. Wrong Long wants another interaction here in mid, and they've been the victim of some first bloods recently. I like this adjustment from Pine Grove. They're not trying to take up space. They're not trying to attack a site. They're not even fighting for Rubble, which CB South has taken over once again. They're instead committing to that first blood kill. But this time, CB South are acting a little more patient. It looks like Rubble will be the interaction, but plenty of CB South players ready to meet them.
The Lear comes out but finds no utility. Instead, it's the Reina who's almost dead. Killed in Vane has to use their res so early, but there's no utility gain so far. Wagyu takes down Vane once more. Kevin Stubb finds the counter kill.
Already big job here to do, and he's completed it so many times, but Slumpy takes out the X Factor. We got a 3v3, 2 ultimates on the side of Pine Grove. Slumpy just dictating the pace right now with the shots, with the fire. Wallbank's not there. They're stuck in the crouch. Can they get away? No! Stuck in the trap.
That is rough. At the very least, they got the trade off. Still doesn't feel good, though, when your Raze is nearly erased herself, and the Breach is still alive. You have the Omen as well. I'm curious to see what Wrong Long is able to do in this position. Not used to being alive this long.
Okay, I thought oh no, you've got to deactivate the ultimate! Long, you either use it for a comfortable position on the CT side or you use it for information. They tried to take on both and bit off more than they could chew.
The weight of the world on their shoulders, and they crumbled beneath it. Kevista waits around the corner, does not much health, so honestly could be a good way to just try to bait out this breach, and indeed is going to be bait, but there's no one ready to capitalize. Now there's a 1v1. Whoa, a bit of a taste your own medicine. How do you like that flash?
Kevolution hadn't survived a post-plant on Seaside earlier, but this time, yes, ready for revenge. And I'll tell you what, D'Lo, Pine Grove were close to falling apart in this game, but now they've got some serious momentum.
This is huge. Having those 2 rounds back-to-back is proof in the pudding that you are absolutely capable of not only changing history. Keep in mind, they got 13-0'd by this team before. That is something that sticks in your mental.
Oh, yeah.
No matter how much of a lighthearted, cheerful squad of killers you are, that is something that's going to kind of stick like a cockleburr in your brain. But now Pine Grove can say, we're going to rewrite the textbooks. We're going to make our own history.
Oh, this is interesting. Pine Grove, for the first time, is fighting for rubble. Normally, they would hang back, but instead they win the fight. They take over that space. Are they going to move on it? Again, so hesitant just after taking that space. It may come down to who grabs the first blood. Look at this, already hanging back, pistol in hand. Clearly not good weaponry on the side of CB South. Pine Grove could just stampede their way in.
Slumpy had some really good gunplay last time around. You see the same thing happen. Device puts down the friend. The Kevista's the one that gets taken out. Slumpy and killed. Combined for 2, but Slumpy instantly gets answered back. That's okay. They make sure their life will not go down in vain. Mine's a 3-piece.
And just one more to take out. It's Wrong Long hiding in the back of the site with a Vandal though. And that could get messy. Kaboom Stick puts it to bed. Explosive for the 5th win.
Despite the fact that Pine Grove got 3 rounds back-to-back, which means that that Hunter-Killer drone is ready and available, it also is interesting the fact that they're not the ones who are hooting and hollering. They're not chirping one bit. Those birdies are keeping nice and sound. I like this fact in the sense that they are keeping humble. They're making sure to not let their egos run away with them. At the same time, though, I kind of want to see that energy that we expect from the Pine Grove posse. I'm curious to see if they once again get another round beneath their belt, tie the series up. Maybe that's when we really start to see them spread their wings and soar.
All right, for this final round of the first half, we did see that the economy is there for a buy for both teams. So I do wonder about already utilizing that ultimate before this stage. Could have kept it for the last round to give them a lead moving into the second half. But forget about the past, it's about the now, it's about the present. And can Pine Grove give themselves a gift here of a tied up game with this round win?
Boombot gets sent right through the shadows. Will not find too much, though. The paint shells are out too. That barely gives some info in terms of where they are not, but that does not solve the question of where they actually are.
Doors opened, buy-in, opportunity to snipe a kill or 2, and that cheeky hiding spot behind the box has been eviscerated. Nobody there, at least not now. Buy-in hiding out in this close smoke, and that's probably a good idea to hang on the other side of the ruse, but the ruse is against you, my friend. Buy-in goes down.
I'm never playing hide and seek with Kevista. That guy's getting empty with a 50 caliber round in my chest. Wagyu is going to be the same story. Great job so far by the Rays. In comes the mosh pit. Wrong Long's going to catch an elbow.
Oh, Artie. Oh, okay, turning the tides a little bit. We've got a tied-up match here in terms of Agent Slumpy holding on. Hits the dismiss just to get out. They can devour the competition right here. Slumpy, another one. The gunplay's been great. It nearly peaks. Artie a 3K. It's down to a 1v1. Artie takes a single bullet and he's down. Vane ties it up.
That is massive for Pine Grove. This is an absolute amazing comeback we are starting to see here from the Cardinals. Now the sides switch up. Can you bring that same momentum to the defense?
Artie says, listen, that is nearly 4 rounds in a row. We need a breath. We need a break. We need a timeout. So these players are going to chat it up for just a second, and we'll chat with you while we get to it. Tell you what, CB South, we mentioned the fact that they 13-0'd them earlier in Fall Brawl, so I feel like the beginning of this match carried so much weight. Will they continue that streak? And Pine Grove have very clearly said no.
Marking like the change, because there's clearly been a shift in the energy, right? I think we're seeing a big step up from Slumpy on this Reyna. She's going toe for toe and sometimes chopping off a few more of those digits alongside it. And that has been so useful because, of course, Reyna's kit completely relies on the fact that she's stacking together elims. So the fact that we're now getting to see the fruition, the composition is actually getting the synergy that it wants, the vision that they set out for is being implemented to perfection.
And I'll tell you what, part of making sure that execution is theirs, taking away that X factor of the other team. How many 3Ks and 4Ks is already put up on the side of CB South? Like, if you even want to get past this team, you've got to take him out. Now that it's all going to change once we shift sides here. So already on this Neon, instead of dashing and sprinting from C side to A side, is now going to be the front runner, the leader of this attack. So they have the opportunity to spring forward on that first duelist kill for the first blood, or to kind of get pushed back at the very start if Artie does not win those first bloods. So I'm very curious to see how Artie is going to navigate being the IGL, also trying to get these first bloods, a lot of weight on their shoulders here in the second half.
Super hot and cold in that sense. It's just a matter of, do you pop off Artie? Do you slay them as Lana Del Slay would so please? But my question for you then in that case, if we've broken down the offensive side, what our friends on CB are looking to get done now that they've switched over, how about Pine Grove? What does their composition look like on the defensive end?
I think it's a little more passive. You know, we saw CB South take up space early on, being willing to taking those fights. I think for Pine Grove, their strategy is much less so, let's take away this position and more so fight for those key areas. On Lotus, on defense, Rubble is that most important point of contention. It gives you so much power at stake because there's different avenues you can go. You can go through Baby Door to get to the B site. You can pop the swiveling door to get into the A site. You can also go through the other lane through the A site. It gives you so many avenues. So I expect Pine Grove here to be a little bit more passive on the defensive end, but still focus heavily on Rubble as you see them fight for it exactly at the start of this round.
Pistols back out, which means it all comes down to the technicals, all comes down to the finesse. Slumpy finds some decent shots there on top of the Omen. That's going to be Wagyu bearing the spike, but so far no one's bearing any first blood yet.
And again, there wasn't a fight worth fighting for on that A Rubble side. Nobody there. In terms of the CB South squad, and well, you've got a lot of bullets in that Ghost, Dilo, so you might as well deal them out.
Suppressing fire, they say. And honestly, I do like the fact that Pine Grove are very daring when it comes to placing their shots. They don't really care if Central Bucks know their position. We saw that last round. That's what got them the win. They're willing to wallbang. They're willing to just go for the shot and say calculated, even if they had no idea if you were there.
CB South, the attack side, we're finally going to start to see in action here. The rotation available, though. Utility expended to the C side. It's a fake, all to take B instead, but there's still commotion on the Pine Grove side. Hiding out in that smoke is Slumpy and does get a smoke spam kill, and it's nearly impossible to remove Vayne, but eventually the kill is made as Slumpy hides out in that smoke. The spike is planted.
Okay, almost dangerous. Right, does find the kill. They get trapped right inside that rock and hard place. What an amazing trap there from CBS to keep the Reyna in check. Vista gets straight out with one. Kevolution does take down Artie. That means there's only going to be the Omen left, and they're rocking low health.
One bullet will do it. I'm sure the comms have communicated that to Kevolution, but the defuse has to be made as well. Surely the fault line will be available for Ronglong to delay that defuse, so it's all about timing here. For the smoke even.
No way.
I should say, uh-oh, pros don't fake. Wait, half is taken. They're gonna go for the second half. Ronglong's still waiting! Too long! Kevolution holds until the win.
That is painful for CBS. They just underestimated the daring, the audacity of these Cardinals who are now squawking proudly, fluffing up their chest feathers in your face. What a brilliant play there to recognize. And that's what Pine Grove does. Again, they are the vibe tribe. They're the ones that say, all right, I'm just gonna defuse. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing is the answer.
Whew, the safer play would have been to pop the spike and get the kill, because again, they were on low HP, right? You could even spam through the smoke, so it's understandable why you would just wait it out. But as you said, the vibe tribe moves forward.
Now moves up with the lead as well. Slumpy is bearing the outlaw, which is awfully scary considering their marksmanship in these last rounds.
They worked really well with the Stingers in round 2 of the first half here, CB South. So I'm curious as to how they'll do it this time around. Already get a little spray through the smoke, but right beside that Baby Door that gives them the B side pressure, they're gonna take that. First they went to B site from C, now it's from A. They've taken the site, and they will at least get that spike down.
Rotation from the Vi's coming through here, but you're not really gonna be able to get much headway, especially with what a Vi's able to accomplish. Tries to take down the trap, but now Artie's waiting around the corner. Is actually just begging you to come around. Now Kevolution knows it too, but do they decide to contest?
Man, I'll tell you what, it's so difficult on the pistol rounds because the knife, the gun, They swing around, and that kill was inevitable.
Oh my god, what are these doors made out of? The bank ball right there. Slumpy, kaboom, and killed. All combined for 3. He's able to walk right past the doors, blast them open alongside your ribcage. Bayern, though, does get 1 kill in return. It's a 2v2 at the very end, but Lotus will slay. Makes an advantage, CB.
Oh, and they know better than to wait out the spike defuse. They crash in and get the kill, tie up the game.
This is a fantastic series we're seeing be played out in front of us. Again, you look back in the history books, you turn back time, just a few short months ago, you say 13-0. Now it's Pine Grove standing on their own 2 feet, saying we deserve to be on the stage just as much as you.
Whew. Had a feeling this one would be a doozy, but boy, oh boy, 7-7. Now I'm understanding why we made this a best of 1 instead of a best of 3, because if it was a BO3, we might be here all day. So it was just decided here on Lotus. Not sure if we mentioned that today. It is a best of 1. The single winner of Lotus will be our champion.
And they recognize it too. It's not quite a marathon, not quite a sprint. Valorant, of course, is a long-form game. 13 rounds is a pretty awfully high number. But you still got to try to recognize the fact that 1 bad streak of momentum, 1 bad streak of plays can be the end of your run. The split here from Pine Grove, it's all about whether Bucks can break through this weakened ends of the defense before the counter rotation comes through.
Oh, Kevista, that Bucky is about to be loud. It's a little bit quiet on the ground now with Cobweb still in the muzzle. The sight takes are so efficient here from CB South as they get that spike down again.
It's just gosh darn buy-in with these gosh darn flashes. I'm tired of them just watching it. Slumpy takes a quick nap because they're tired too. Already going to be the one who gently caresses them to bed. Now it's 3 members of Pine Grove that stand up against all 5, and Lana Del Slay makes it only 2.
Pine Grove here to be in the face of all that rifle spray. A Guardian to the face, a Vandal to the face. CB South makes short work.
Pine Grove just feels like, is it the splits that aren't working, or is our positioning a bit rough? Is just we're not clicking the right heads? What do we think is rocking a bit more rough on the defensive side for our Cardinals?
Part of it's the gunplay.
Yeah.
I mean, to be frank, in that previous round, they did not have the right buys to win those gunfights. You have to win out on some close quarter battles. You saw Kevista have the Bucky in tree, right? Can we get those short range duels to win out? And then when they don't, when the Vandals win over, they'll lose the round. But we got even gunplay this time around. Everyone, just about everyone has a rifle in hand for this next round.
Slumpy instantly retreats, seeing that mad lad on the neon is coming for you. Trapped inside the wall, Slumpy's just got to wait for their turn to start on up. It's going to be Artie trying to challenge from the corner, but they take a few bolts in retort, and Artie is actually going to be not the one to take him out, it's Whack You instead.
And trapped in this deadlock ultimate is Evolution. See you never. And that utility spray as well from Lana Del Slay has been so effective against Pine Grove to retake the site. So many bullets are required just to get past that utility. We also have a flank as well. A couple kills about to happen in the back of the head there. Long takes out 2.
Firing squad, but it's a man of 1 doing it. And now only the Rays left. Kevista is going to need a real miracle to bring this one back, especially with the spike already planted.
Yeah, you hope to get a couple exit frags here if you are Kevista, but
no such luck.
Wagyu has other things in mind, and it was a wonderful side take from Central Buck South, where you've got Artie utilizing that ultimate, your frag leader by a mile. You're shivering in your timbers on that C site, just ready to get mowed down.
Yeah, you see the numbers there, 24 and 11, like leaps and bounds ahead of what we're seeing from Pine Grove. Pine Grove like to spread the love a little bit more, it seems, when it comes to who is operating best with their offense. I still think Slumpy is the one who's clicking heads just a bit better than the rest. However, the fact that Artie is such a massive threat, it's just an instant question of who do we target? Because you saw at the beginning there, that gunfight, Slumpy tried to go for Artie, realized it was just completely out of their capability, starts going for the other full health members of the team. It doesn't feel like Pine Grove have a cohesive plan of who we want to make dead first.
I think you ensure that you're not dead first.
I agree
to me, Pine Grove need to play for the retake here. The site takes are way too effective. The utility's all expended, and now they're being taken out of this round 1 by 1. Slumpy, your kill precision player could be the one to turn it around, though.
Let's find out. Kevista's going to be one to start things off. Finally, it's vengeance for their 2 fallen comrades, but taking out buy-in, which is good. You don't have that utility anymore for any potential attempt at the retake. Slumpy does indeed fulfill their role. Drops 2, but we still have Artie alive. That's scary.
Oh, Kivista barely gets around there, and around the corner is Artie. A couple kills still to make if you're Artie, though, so it's time to dash in and surprise him. Bounce around and fall to the ground. Kevolution puts it down.
You know what? There's a chance there. I certainly had my fingernails almost chewed down at the quick, seeing that Artie was the last one standing from the Buck South. But I will say, Pine Grove had me worried there because they did kind of the opposite of what you expected. What you mentioned, what you laid out for them is to not dig your heels in on the first point defense. They tried to, they didn't succeed, but Slumpy off the back of their work, trading out that too. As long as Slumpy's able to continue to execute this level, Pine Grove can make a few mistakes and still have enough leeway.
It really feels like a competition of the duelists here.
Yes.
Who gets those first frags? Who gives the one team the upper hand here? And what kind of path do CB South lead? It's been a very sprinty few rounds for CB South. I wonder if they temper that pace. So far, it doesn't quite look like the case.
And it really makes it interesting when we see Slumpy and Artie end up facing off, because they're not really going to be super loath to do so. The disarm there comes out, but Artie is able to sustain through. Kaboom stick now this time is the one to step up. Kivista drops down one more, but when the tide stands, two members on each side, and of course, Slumpy and Artie are one.
Oh, and Roglong has been pretty clutch in these late rounds, so there's two players really to worry about if you're against Central Buck South, but that ultimate's going to be huge from the buys for Pine Grove. It's going to take out the primary weapons.
This is trouble. Slumpy ascends to the heavens to try to bring you to the underworld. Artie, look around behind you. Slumpy, why the knife? Not again. Artie answers back and silences their attempt at resistance. It's going to be one more round victory for Central Bucks.
And that is the loudest we've heard these players on the stage today. Artie was swarmed from both angles, but whipped around for both kills. He is the vibe leader of his team right now. He is the IGL. He is keeping his team active and ahead of the game.
It's again the fact that Pine Grove, come on, man, don't whip out the knife, buddy. Just shoot him. Just shoot him, please. It's a gun game at the end of the day, all right? There's no humiliation. We're not playing blobs. You got to make sure that you're going by what works, and unfortunately, that was not it.
I'm a victim of keeping the knife out just for a little extra speed on the turnaround, but sometimes you get caught with the knife out. Pine Grove hoping that's the last time that happens for them, as finally it's slow step into the site that Device is trying to control, but they do spark the shear there. That wall's gonna go up from Kevolution, and that's not something they can get back.
That stinks too, because you really wanted to try to trap the rabbit that is Artie, but well done baiting out that buys utility. Now Kevolution on the corner has utility with a shotgun too. Just puts Artie down instead.
And the gun's not in the favor of Pine Grove here. They have bought for the next round. They do get one frag, but again, you can see Roglong, it's just an easy duel because you've got a rifle against a pistol. This is a surefire win here for Central Buck South. You even have the Thrash, available for the Pine Grove Gecko, but you're not gonna see it get used. They're gonna go down, they're gonna keep those ultimates, as much money, as much utility as they can save to the next round as they can.
Kaboom stick is snapped in half, and Slumpy slumps to the ground lifeless. 11-8 here. Pine Grove still absolutely in range to make this comeback once again.
But this is the round.
But it's got to happen now.
It has to. All the economy has favored them in this very round. Again, I want to see Pine Grove be smart about their decision making here. It is clear that CB South want to splash on the site. They have walked up, they have crashed on, but in this new meta of Valorant, your utility takes a longer time to regenerate. So let them splash on the site. Let them use all that utility and then retake with a fury.
It's what we saw before, executed so well by Buy-in, so why can't you do it yourself? Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you, but Central Buck South are the ones that are singing the show tunes as they're merrily on their way back to site.
And the utility has changed here from the buys on Pine Grove. They've instead fortified B site, which is smart. CB South have often taken one side to a site and then whipped around to the other. However, that blast convinced a double blast back to maybe get out. Just barely saving their life, but right into the gunfire there of Wagyu.
You get one, the other gets you. What an amazing flash once again by Buy-in. We saw that exact same situation play out by the revolving door, and it does not seem like the Rays learned their lesson. Unfortunately, the wingman gets shot down. That sure stinks, but Kaboom stick is now dropped up to the net. That stinks even worse. Luckily, their team pops him out.
Yeah, they've saved their life, but can they save the round? You do have the resurrection from the Clove as well as the Thrash. Do you use it here in this 3v5 situation? How much weight is on this? Yes, the Flash is killed. Raggy gets another elimination. Zane has another chance to stay alive and get an elimination. But time isn't on their side. Eliminations aren't on their side. Is there any stopping CB South?
So far, no. Pine Grove have not been able to answer this unrelenting wave of aggression. The moment Central Buck South got on the attacking side, it seemed like they just pushed down the gas pedal to the metal and never let go. Pine Grove just need to get a hand on the steering wheel. Last round, potentially, of the entire match. Central Buck South are feeling untouchable.
It was a 4-round comeback from Pine Grove to tie up the first half. Pine Grove, they need that same energy right here, right now. It's the B-side. That's the target for CB South for their match winning, their fall brawl winning round.
Let's see if they can get it done. Boomstick has got the Thrash on out. Slumpy gets the first kill on mine. That's huge. Thrash was on him. Do we get anything to follow up? No. Kevin Evolution killed. All of them are going to be dropped in an instant. Pine Grove will have 2 left to their name.
The Boomstick, there's so much value needed out of that Marshall from a high position, and Slumpy trying to get the flank, but they're caught in the Fade utility. Slumpy, Decayed, nowhere to go, nowhere to run! CB South, give it up for your Fall Brawl champions!
History tends to repeat itself, Pyro, and this is no exception. It might not have been in quite as flashy fashion with the 13-0. Pine Grove can certainly be proud of their performance, but nonetheless, CBS stands strong.
Artie stands strong. 33 kills, 500 nearly. ACS led the team in the comms, led the team on the battlefield, got up, got loud. He's cheering. A ton of people in the crowd rooting for him as well, and for good reason. We didn't quite see the 13-0 that apparently CB South got on Pine Grove earlier in Fall Brawl, but we still saw that dominant CB South that we knew they could be.
It's exactly what you said. It's just the unabated aggression with which they're able to take the point, and coupled with the fact that Pine Grove was unwilling to let them take it and try to go for a different strategy. They really wanted to just kind of hold a stalwart, stoic wall. It didn't work. Instead, they folded.
That's right. There was the opportunity to pivot, to take action instead on the retake and have all your members ready for that position, but instead 1 or 2 players falling every time that site was taken left them out of numbers, out of utility, and out of the ability to really compose themselves. With that splash action that we saw from CB South, it keeps your opposition so uncomfortable, right? You can never really gain your ground. You can never really take a breath. The only timeout we saw was between halves. There really was no break to all the pressure that CB South put on Pine Grove. And
even though obviously Artie was the front runner when it comes to just dropping fools, I do want to give a special shout out there to Buy-in. I think that the utility from those lashes was so interesting and so just useful. The utility was useful. The utility was utilized well. And that's not what we got to see from, unfortunately, the Vi's. The Vi's receiving that nerf that Arc Row is now destructible. That sticks because it's such a massive amount of utility. We see how effective flashes are with those 2 pieces that we're picking up. You don't have that same luxury. And in those fringe scatter situations, it just resulted in the chips being down for our friends on the Cardinal side.
You can nerf those flashes as much as you want. They're still just as effective with those flash points out of Breach, and the flashes that I'm getting here on the stage right now feel a lot like what Pine Grove were having to deal with in that game. You mentioned Buy-in as well. Wagyu deserves some flowers as well. Those are your 2 subs.
Yes.
Pulling the weight for CB South. We put a lot of pressure on their shoulders to show up today. It was going to be on them to keep the CB South team strong, fortified, and ready to perform on LAN. I mean, you have the pressure of being a sub, you have the pressure of performing on this big stage with the crowd, trying to root for you or root against you.
Speaking.
And us yapping about them the whole time as well, and they still pull it off.
It's really impressive. Not only do they get a good like dexterous finger workout, but also their traps and delts are feeling nice because they put the team on their shoulders. But of course, Artie as well certainly is going to have some big back muscles to speak of because they absolutely nailed it. And we're going to be able to hear more from these teams. We're going to send over to our friend Q for the interview.
Show.